There came a point in my life when I knew I had to change it. So I took a chance and sold and gave away everything that I owned to experience a new life living out on the canals and rivers of the UK. So I'd like you to come along and experience it with me every step of the way. Hello YouTubers, thanks for coming along and joining me and Aitch as we start our next adventure. It's the Ashby Canal at long last. We're going to be going further and further out into the wilderness on this one, but there's a bit of a problem. I'm running low on fuel and I haven't got any coal, and at this time of the year the evenings are getting very chilly in the boat, so I'm wrapping up with jumpers and hats. I've got to find some coal somehow. So you people that live in houses are not the only ones that are having problems heating their homes. But then again, my problems are a bit more self-inflicted. I've been crossing my fingers and hoping that a fuel boat comes by, but I haven't seen one for 2 months. So I'm going to have to find a marina or somewhere else where I can get stocked up. So wish me luck and we'll see how I get on. I've already been cruising a fair while today to get up to here, so I'm going to be looking for somewhere to moor up now. This looks like a spot with a bit of Armco that I can tie up to, so hopefully somewhere at the end of these boats there'll be a bit of a space for me. Yeah, there's just enough room. At the moment we're moored up about half a mile onto the Ashby Canal, and I want to get up to Hinckley where I think there may be a few marinas to get some coal. In my excitement to get going today, I forgot to put the centre line on. It's one of the most important bits of equipment for a solo boater. So luckily there's no other boats moving or about, so we're just drifting along here, and I've gone in to get the centre line and fit it. You'll have to bear with me as I am a bit of a plonker sometimes. Straight away I'm getting that feeling that I get about places. I don't know what it is, I don't know if I've got a sixth sense or not, but already it feels really nice, and I'm going to look forward to my month or two living out here. Another thing that I've noticed, these bridges seem all to be built of stone, and they look very solid and very pretty. And there's an oncoming boat that stopped and waiting for me to come through the bridge, because I was just a little bit closer than they was. It looks like there was 2 boats waiting for me. Very nice of them. The Ashby Canal was originally intended to be a through route to the River Trent at Burton, but this plan was shelved. Then, in the year 1792, the Ashby Canal Company was formed by the owners of the Leicestershire Lime Works and the new coalfields at Ashby de la Zouch, to give them a transport outlet to the south of England. For the first 20 years, the Ashby never made a profit, but a new coal mine was sunk near Moira, and it produced coal of such high quality that it became widely demanded in London and southern England, and the canal from then on flourished. Funnily enough, the town in which the Ashby was named after, it never reached in the end, which was Ashby de la Zouch. All them industries that the Ashby was built for have long since gone, and it's left now to people like me to enjoy, and hopefully you'll enjoy it with me. Being as they ask so nicely, I'll just do that. It's alright, because I'd have slowed down anyway. If you watch my channel, you know what I'm like. The canal seems to be getting a bit on the narrow side here. This is a lovely looking little area. Looks a bit like holiday homes here, but I'd imagine they're probably people that have downsized and retired to a beautiful little place like this. It's getting really narrow now. Usually when I'm going through places like this, there's a boat coming the other way and it causes a bit of a problem. But so far so good. It's a lovely looking little spot though. Really enjoying taking Aitch through here. I knew it was too good to be true. There's a boat coming the other way and it looks like I'm going to meet it at the narrowest spot. So I'm going to have to stop here. I haven't encountered it myself yet, but they say that the Ashby is very shallow. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful as I go over here. Don't want to bottom out, do I? Got a bit too close to that bush in front of me, so I'm going to have to reverse up so that it gives me a little bit of room to manoeuvre and get round it. It's no good panicking and stressing in this game. You should have all the time in the world. So it's best just to keep calm, take your time and crack on. Listening to what other boaters have said, they reckon that the Ashby gets better the further along you go. And if it's like this already, I can't wait to see the rest of it. there's always a downside for going out into these beautiful, more remote areas. Downside is you've got to work a lot harder to get your food supplies and any other supplies you need, because they're very few and far between. And at the moment, I'm struggling with a bit of a sore knee, so I hope that heals up. So if you see a poor old sod hopping along the towpath with a rucksack on his back, don't worry, it's probably me. Seems to be opening out a bit here. Not so tree lined. Still beautiful. I've got the engine on tick over again as I go past this moored boat, as I know what it's like when someone speeds by and rocks everything up in the air. And I reckon that the fellow who lives on that boat has been rocked about a few times himself.
You had a job then?
Because he just took the time to come out of the boat and thank me for slowing down, which is nice. I don't know if it's the area that we're going through, but I've noticed there's a lot more red berries on the trees and bushes than usual. And it's supposed to be a sign for a bad winter coming. So I better hurry up and get some coal. Can you imagine the headlines? It will say, Narrowboater turned into icicle as he's trying to make videos. Might be a good advertisement for the channel though. But it won't be a lot of good to me until I thaw out. Right, let's get back to all this loveliness before my silly imagination goes off on one again. So what do you think of the Ashby so far? I hope you're loving it like I am. I've spent most of my time trying to make a living in towns and cities, and coming out to places like this, I feel so privileged. It looks like they've left a lot of the towpath areas and the off towpath banks to go a bit wild, and I suppose that's very good for the wildlife. Makes it a little bit more awkward for me sometimes, but I can live with that. Just over there to the right is the site of an interesting little story. In medieval times there was once a village there called Stretton Baskerville. The village became deserted after the landowner, Henry Smythe, turned out the residents in 1488, and he turned over the land to grazing. The village church also fell into ruins. The village must have been there for quite a while, as it was mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. Sounds like a nice chap, that Henry Smythe. It's also said that the ghost of Dick Turpin, the famous 18th century highwayman, roams the ruins of the village. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Nice little story though. I mean the Dick Turpin bit, not the poor villagers being turfed out of their homes. I'm not that horrible. I'm a big old softy, really. The colours of the trees are looking well down here. Lovely. So far on my travels over the last few years, I've noticed certain canals have slight little, shall I say, idiosyncrasies about them. They're all slightly different. Be it the bridges or the towpaths, widths of the canals, depths. They've all got their own little thing. We're right out in the middle of nowhere here, and there's still something that's surprising me. We're still getting some graffiti on the bridges. So I've just had a little thought. Perhaps the farmers are the graffiti artists. No one's ever thought of that, have they? It could be that after a hard day in the fields, they go and relax in the evenings doing a bit of graffitiing on the bridges. What do you think? Because there's no one else out here to do it. Perhaps narrowboaters. Might be narrowboaters. Because we're all a bit dodgy. There's a water point over here, so I'm going to fill up with water while I've got the chance. That's a snazzy little workboat. Right, Aitch's water tank is full. Time to go. I could actually do with somewhere to dump some rubbish. There's not a lot of places around here. The black bags are starting to pile up in the well deck. As I'm pulling away, I've noticed another boat coming towards me under the bridge. So rather than go over to the right and pass it on the proper side, I'm going to stay over here on the towpath side and let it pass me that way. There's two things significant about this bridge coming up. It's actually the border between Warwickshire and Leicestershire, so once I'm through it I'll be in Leicestershire. And it's also Watling Street, the old Roman road that runs from London, I think, all the way up to Chester. Nowadays they call it the A5. They've shut the towpath down here because they're working on improving it, so you can't really moor here. And I think we've actually reached Hinckley. They call Hinckley the home of Triumph motorcycles. Looks like they've done a good job on the path. Wonder how long it's going to stay like that though. I had a quick look in the guidebook for somewhere that I can buy some coal and refuel up, and there's a place in Hinckley called Trinity Marina, so I'm heading for that. So hopefully I'll be sitting there nice and warm tonight. Coming up here on the left is a place, I think it's called Hinkley Wharf. That looks a bit of a tight squeeze for them boats. The towpath's opened up again after this bridge, so if I need to, I can moor up from now on. I'm not really a fan of mooring up in towns and cities, but sometimes it just needs must, I suppose. You've got like an industrial estate kind of thing over here on the right hand side, and like a gastro pub, and then I think it's Trinity Marina. Woohoo! I'm going to try and moor up right next to this diesel pump so I can fill up with diesel. And then I'll stock up with all the other essentials that I need. Coal, gas, kindling. The bloke from the marina's bringing up some more coal, and my wallet is getting smaller by the second. But it's all stuff that I really need, so I don't mind that. I did ask the fella in the marina if I could empty out one of my toilet cassettes there, and he said, yeah, I can. It's an extra £2. I thought, God, I just spent a few bob here. I thought you'd have done that for nothing. But there you go. Well, that's a relief. I'm all stocked up, and now I'm going to look for somewhere to moor up. I think there's something up here on the left, and hopefully there's a bit of space for me there. Yep, there looks like a bit of Armco the other side of these reeds, so hopefully I'm going to squeeze in there. The centre line's got caught around the coal, so I'm going to have to walk along the gunnels quick, get that untangled, and then try and jump off because the back's coming out. Just made it. I think that'll do us for today. But before I go, I'd like to thank a few people, a few lovely generous people, for buying me a coffee. Sue, Colin, Betty, Jess and Honey, Alan and Shirley, Christine and Peter, someone didn't leave a name, Quab Quack, Linda, Jerry Barrett, Pierre Berg, Veronique Cassels, Peter Barker, someone else didn't leave a name, Reggie the dog and Jeff. And I can't forget my lovely members, Scrappy, Steve, David and Fran, Ruth, Timothy, and a new member, Stephen from Czechoslovakia. Thank you all so much. I'm just happy if you watch and enjoy the videos though. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Please comment, because I love your comments. And if you really enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.